MegaHerzzz. You're listening to MegaHerzzz on 4ZZZ.
Hello, you're listening to MegaHerzzz, and I'm going to tell you about April Atonement. Let me tell you about April Atonement. So April Atonement is a bit of a sub-drive that we have going on here at 4ZZZ. And the idea of April Atonement is that we have so many people who listen to 4ZZZ and get a whole lot out of 4ZZZ, but maybe haven't been a subscriber. Or maybe you've been a subscriber in the past, but, you know, for whatever reason, your subscription's lapsed and you have not been able to subscribe, or just, you know, maybe you forgot. But that's okay, because you can atone for your sins in April, and you can subscribe, and we will forgive you. We will completely forgive you, and you can subscribe whether you're a first-time subscriber or whether you're a returning subscriber. And for your atonement, as part of our forgiveness, we will put you in the draw for some amazing prizes, and along with the benefit of the warm inner glow that you get your warm inner glow, and you get to keep 4ZZZ on the air. We've been on the air for 50 years, and to keep us on the air for 50 more, you can subscribe and help us pay those bills. So that's the main benefit that you get. If you're a passionate subscriber, which is only $140 per year, this is my favourite one, because you get the T-shirt. There is a limited designer T-shirt each year, and it is only for passionate and super subs. So be part of the in crowd and get yourself a passionate or a super sub. You can be a regular full subscriber for only $80, or you can be a band subscriber for $160, which is pretty awesome. And one of my other favourite ones, you can subscribe your pets for only $25, and I think I love that. You get a little pet tag when you do that. I subscribed my pet snake Beverly, who does not wear the dog tag and does not have ears and cannot listen to 4ZZZ, but loves the beat, loves that vibration, loves that. So subscribe your pet. Hey, you know what else we're going to do? We are going to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we're broadcasting from. Here in Meanjin, it is the Turrbal and the Yagara people, and respect to the Turrbal and Yagara people who've been making music on these lands for more than 60,000 years. They've been gathering together and, making community for over 60,000 years, and we would like to acknowledge them as the sovereign custodians of the land, and sovereignty has never been ceded.
Hello, you're listening to MegaHerzzz. You are joined today by Charlotte. My pronouns are she, they.
And I'm Sarah, and my pronouns are they, them.
We've got a very exciting interview lined up. So today we are joined by Poppy Fowler, who is a local artist who has created a new regular gathering group called Meanjin Artivists, who had their first meetup a couple of weeks ago, and we've got her on the phone just to have a little chat with us about it. Poppy, are you there, and can we hear you?
Yes, I am. Hello. Can you hear me?
Beautiful. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's okay. Do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your art and your background and, where you've got to in your artistic career so far?
Yeah, so I'm an artist and activist working mainly with watercolour paint and fine liner, and I actually love creating detailed kind of whimsical art that has a few nods and elements of social justice sort of throughout them.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I was having a look on your Instagram. It's all so gorgeous, so detailed. So you've created this group called the Meanjin Artivists group. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what that is and what that means?
Yeah, so it's a creative group that meets casually once a month in like a free, safe space to make art for change, really. So the idea is that each month we'll pick a topic that's important to us and the community, and we'll then spend a couple of hours creating pieces inspired by that. And then I'm hoping to sort of collate that artwork into a zine that people can then buy and go towards that month's relevant cause. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And so why did you start the group? Like, where did this kind of idea come from?
Yeah, so the idea for the group started when I was moving to Brisbane. I'm actually from Melbourne, recently moved to Brisbane, and I found myself wishing that I had a creative community of people who shared a like-minded passion for social justice, and sort of had an epiphany on the plane and just started mapping out how I could make this idea work, really.
Oh, that's really beautiful. And so have you been involved in activism or artivism before, like in Melbourne, or just in other parts of your life?
Yeah, I guess I've been involved in activism in some form or another most of my life, you know, whether it's like joining groups in high school or attending protests and rallies. But I've also had a passion for combining my love of art with activism for a long time too. And so my professional studies and background is, I have a BA in visual art and literature, but then I went and got a master's in community development.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I've been trying to find ways to combine those, and this project's sort of my first fun way of doing that.
Yeah, and so artivism, maybe for people who haven't thought about what that means or what that might mean, do you want to kind of explain how you think of that?
Yeah, so obviously it's a combination of the words art and activism, and looking at how we can use art as a way to share different topics and bring people's awareness to it, because art is a great medium for that. It transcends language and cultures, and it's super accessible. I think a few years ago I first came across that term in the context of people doing artivism for climate action and things like that. So yeah,
I think artivism has been quite big in the climate change space. I think I heard the term as well through people doing a lot of poetry and things like that around climate change. And it's just such an accessible way to get into activism, I think. And
Can you tell us a bit about maybe what is the place of art in activism?
Sorry, I just have so many. I love this topic, obviously. The place of art and activism. Yeah, just having that opportunity to get creative and sort of overcoming that barrier of, activism can be a bit intimidating for people who aren't usually in that space, and just having art as a way to, no pressure, creatively, express your feelings and contribute to something is a great place to start, especially for those who maybe aren't interested in the physical stuff of rallies and being vocal, sort of a nice quiet way of showing you care for things.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. So how did your first kind of gathering go? I think you had it the other day, was it?
Yeah, last weekend. It was really good. We had about 20 people come and share the space upstairs at Echo and Bounce in Wollongabba.
Great
where
venue.
I sort of set up tables and art supplies for everyone, and we just spent about 2.5 hours getting to know one another and discussing our experiences relating to the topic of that first session.
What was the topic of your first session?
Oh yeah, that was we looked at endometriosis and chronic illness.
Yeah, and so is that a personal topic for you, or just something you noticed in the community in general? So what landed on you picking that topic for your first session?
Yeah, well, I've struggled with endo and chronic illness personally for years, and sort of the more I learned and was involved in the community, I found a lot of experiences were shared, things like neglect and gaslighting in the medical field for chronically ill people. And March was also Endometriosis Awareness Month, and I'd previously been working with Queensland Endometriosis, with a little exhibition about how art can share invisible illness experiences. So I wanted to tie that into the first event. It was really great discussing with people why this event was super helpful. Like, being chronically ill is incredibly expensive with all your medical bills. So having this free space was great. And it's also very isolating. So having the opportunity to connect with people who are experiencing similar loneliness, I guess, in that way, it was amazing.
Yeah. And so the actual workshop or the session or, the gathering, however you kind of describe it, how's the layout go? Like, does everyone kind of arrive and you have a little chat and then you do some art? Or, what's the go with the sessions?
Yeah, well, I just sort of had, like, the table set up, and whenever people filtered through, I'd just say, sit down, use whatever supplies you'd like, and get to know new people. This is the topic. You can come at it whatever angle you want, create whatever art, poetry, anything that calls to you. And then at the end of it, I collect the artwork and scan it, and I've begun putting a little zine together. So, yeah.
Did you have a wide variety of media?
We didn't the first session because, I sort of just invited people to bring whatever art supplies they already work in. I guess we had, like, watercolour, collage, written poetry.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And that is quite variety,
Yeah, I think so. Did you learn anything new about, like, throughout the session about endometriosis, or was it more about kind of that community aspect of it?
I guess learning just how common these shared experiences are, and the importance of coming together to advocate for ourselves and one another, since the system, can fail you so often. I feel like I left feeling more optimistic and maybe even powerful in my ability to advocate for myself and navigating endo and stuff going forward. So that was pretty cool.
That's such a great outcome. Speaking of activism, I also saw that you have done a collaboration with Dangerous Females, who we definitely love on the show. Can you tell us a little bit about that project that you did with them?
Yeah, so Dangerous Females is an organisation who 100% of their proceeds go towards, like, domestic violence and gender-based violence organisations, and each year they organise an artist collective where they invite around 50 artists to create a piece of artwork, and with the sales of the artwork and merch going towards their services. They're awesome, and I was really happy to be a part of that. It was actually my first ever exhibition, which is nice.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And I made a piece for it called My Saturday Local, which sort of depicted a cafe and community space where there's a shared veggie patch, a market, some animals, and then inside the cafe you can see lots of activist-type posters and flags and stuff.
Oh my God, that sounds so good. We'll have to check that out and share it on our Instagram as well, of course.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere where people can see your art?
It's not on display anywhere at the moment, so I guess just my Instagram, which is Flilu Art, Flilou Art. Hopefully we'll be joining some exhibitions and maybe some markets around Brisbane in the coming months. So.
Cool. We'll absolutely put that in our show notes as well so people can find you.
Great.
And so what kind of future topics are you interested in exploring through the Artivist group?
Yeah, well, our next event is going to be on the 25th of April, and we're actually going to look at intersectionality and its importance in the community and everything people do, really, as I'm sure your show knows.
Absolutely.
So, I've worked professionally in integrating intersectional feminism into organisational policies and programs. So I'm really excited to take that knowledge and share it with people in a fun and informative way through our zine.
Oh yeah, that sounds like it'll be really, really valuable for participants.
So if there are artists that want to get involved in the Meanjin Artivists group, how would they go about that? And is that open to everyone, or is it only open to specific kinds of artists, or?
Yeah, no, absolutely everybody, whether you're an artist or have never created in your life, but you're keen to come along and meet some like-minded people and have a chill Saturday morning. Yeah, you don't have to be directly connected to each monthly topic either. Just coming and learning and engaging is amazing. Like some other topics we'll probably hope to cover is to do with like Palestine and queer joy and like the danger of AI. I'd really love to tackle. Yeah, lots of
so many opportunities to explore some really cool stuff. Do you have any kind of like big picture goals or dreams for a group like this in the future? I know you've mentioned the zine is something that you'd be interested in.
Yeah. I mean, I was already blown away by the response to the first event. You know, I only expected a couple of people to come, and I was really touched by the amount that wanted to be involved. And I think the more monthly events we do, the more we'll get an idea of what people want to cover and how to cover it. I really love to see the zines evolve. I'm having a lot of fun putting the first one together. But maybe just collaborating with more organisations and groups during future events. Maybe even creating like one big piece that everyone works on together and sharing them throughout the city to raise awareness. But yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I think, that community aspect is so important. I think a lot of people are really looking for that at the moment. So it's so awesome to have a space like this that can meet regularly and, do really great things together.
Oh, thank you.
That's okay. Did you have anything you want to share with our listeners before we head off?
I guess just that if you'd like to come down to the next event, I'll be sharing a little poster with information soon. But the 25th of April at Echo and Bounce, just looking at intersectionality and however people want to interpret and express that. Should be fun.
And should people just turn up on the 25th, or do you need a RSVP or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm going to share a registration link just to get numbers. But completely free and chill, so please come down.
All right, and we'll put that on our show notes.
We absolutely will. All right. Thank you so much for having a chat with us, Poppy. It was so lovely to meet you and, learn a little bit more about your group. And, we'll definitely be plugging that in the future.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I got to come on. It was great.
Yay. Thank you so much, Poppy.
Thank you.
We just had a little interview with Poppy Fowler, who started the Meanjin Artivists group. You can listen back and learn a little bit more in our show notes and on our little spot on the website. We've got a subscriber. Thank you so much. It'll pop up on my screen soon, but thank you so much. It is April Atonement after all. Okay, so in this next section, we will be having some discussions that are a little bit emotionally charged. We will be speaking about our ongoing commitment to reporting on the femicide in Australia and, all the devastating effects that has. Please just take care of yourself. If this is not something that you can listen to this morning, tune out for the next few minutes. Okay, so this week, unfortunately, we have had 2 women who have been killed. It's always one too many, but yes, just devastating news this week. So on April 1st, an unnamed 24-year-old woman was murdered at a home in Leverton in Western Australia. We're not sure of her name yet, but I'm sure that will be released. A 48-year-old woman has been charged with her death. She is known to the victim, and this woman is the 17th Australian woman killed in 2026. A second woman named Eva Lazzarini was also killed last week, and she is the 18th Australian woman killed in 2026. Victorian Missing Persons Squad detectives charged a man with her murder following the discovery of her body in the Little River in that state. Eva was reported missing 2 days before then. The 67-year-old man was arrested in Melbourne Airport before he boarded an international flight. And he was her ex-partner, I believe. A quote shared by someone who knew her said, Eva loved shopping, she loved her daughters, she was grateful to be in Australia and tried to make a difference while she was here. She studied, she learnt, and whoever met her really loved Eva and liked her a lot. Thank you so much for those kind words, and yeah, rest in peace, Eva, and that other woman that we don't know the name of. If anyone is feeling like they need further support or are struggling with any of the effects of male violence or are just having a hard time on this topic, you can reach out to 1-800-RESPECT at 1-800-737-732. If you're a woman who's struggling with violence in your relationship or from someone you know, you can call DV Connect Women's Line at 1-800-811-811. And if you're a man who is at risk or are perpetrating violence, you can call DV Connect Men's Line at 1-800-600-636. Thank you so much for listening and for, going along with our commitment to this cause.
4ZZZ is hard to label. Subscribe, renew that old subscription, or buy some merch. It's April Atonement time. Go to 4ZZZ.org.au.
So in this little segment, we've just got a couple of upcoming events to share with you all. We have an event for a good cause. So there's an event called Day Seeker, which will be hosted at Echo&Bounce on Sunday, the 12th of April. This event will have live music, DJs, local goods, beers and prizes, and their lineup will be announced soon, so we're not sure exactly who's playing at that one. But this event is aimed at raising money for gender-affirming surgery for a local queer creative. So what's better than, going along to a great gig and contributing to something really beautiful like that. Coming up this week as well, we've also got Echoes from the Cave In. So Echoes from the Cave In is a monthly poetry open mic hosted by Drew Thompson, they them pronouns, and Cole, who uses any pronouns. So it's held at the Cave In every month. This week it'll be on Tuesday, the 7th of April, so tomorrow night, from 6 p.m. onwards in the little bar downstairs. So there'll be poetry readings from various artists. They also host a 5-minute speed poetry game for anyone who's interested. So I think that sounds like a really good time to me, and a really good way to spend, a nice week after having a lovely long weekend, as I'm sure a lot of you listening have done. We're going to talk a little bit more about April Atonement. We wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the prizes that we've got. So, as we mentioned before, April Atonement is an annual campaign that happens at 4ZZZ to try and get more subscribers, but this one's kind of specifically focused on getting those who maybe have been subscribers in the past but just have let it lapse, or it just hasn't been on the agenda for a little while. So we are encouraging you to come back with open arms, and we would really love you to
That said, there are some great prizes, and so even if you are a current subscriber and you want to get into the draw for those prizes, your subscriptions do stack. So you can subscribe for the Radiothon and the April Atonement, and you don't actually lose anything. So it just extends the length.
Extend your current one.
Yeah, the length of your current one. So if you want any of these awesome prizes and want to go in the draw from that, and maybe you're a supporter, maybe you're a bit of a joiner, and we love that. So don't feel like you have to have lapsed your subscription.
Absolutely.
Anyone can be a subscriber.
Whether you've never done it before, whether you've done it for 10 years and you just want to get a little bit extra.
Just stack them on, because tell us what's some of the great prizes.
It sounds really good. So we've got a Stalk Furniture LP Cool J record console. I think I saw that one on Instagram. It looked pretty snazzy to me.
Handmade record console.
Yeah, they're a local furniture designer and maker based in East Brisbane. That's awesome. We've got a Brisbane Festival VIP River Fire experience. That's pretty cool. Oasis VIP experience. That's a cruising and entertainment kind of
Cruise and entertainment
package thing.
Woohoo,
I love
VIP.
that.
Yep.
And there's also specific prizes for different kind of subcategories. So if you didn't know, we've got a bunch of different 4ZZZ subscription tiers. So we have an under 18, we've got a pet, we've got a concession, we've got full, passionate, etc. So
The household one, you can actually subscribe your whole household, and the household prize. So if you subscribe your household, you can go into the draw for I believe $400 voucher for Thrill House Tattoo. And I think if you subscribe as a household and you get that, you need to have matching household tattoos.
I think you do.
I don't think that's part of the fine print of the prize.
But that's a MegaHerzzz.
This is just what
I agree.
That's what we would love
Maybe
to
your
see
whole
happen.
household could get MegaHerzzz tattooed on your body.
I would love that. I would,
would love that.
maybe
We'll have you on
we
the
win.
show
Maybe you and me, Shah. We'll get matching
If you
MegaHerzzz
get a MegaHerzzz
tattoos.
tattoo, we'll have you on the show. You can
We
come,
would so have you on the
come
show.
have a chat with us.
I wonder if we could get the people from Thrill House to come into MegaHerzzz
think we
and do a
definitely should.
live tattoo,
A live tattoo
on the air.
of
How
our
good would that
logo
be?
on top of you. I think that would be
That would
very
be
exciting.
fantastic. I think, definitely subscribe, win that prize, and come and join us for some live tattooing on
Absolutely.
MegaHerzzz.
And you can hear more great stuff like what you've heard today. We love it. We love supporting independent media and, community radio, all the good stuff. You've been joined by Charlotte.
And Sarah.
Thank you so much for listening.
Isn't that what feminism is about?